All right, hey guys, Jason here. We're up here at the amazing Franklin Chevy and Toyota. Toyota right here, Chevy dealer, literally right over the hill over there is where the Chevy is. I love the Franklin Auto Group of guys here in their dealerships. But today we're going to talk about predictions for Toyota trucks. Okay, I don't know anything about what I couldn't even tell you what kind of car that is. Is that I have no, what is that, a Camry? I don't know. I don't know a thing about cars. Okay, sedans, don't know anything about them. Trucks, I know a lot about trucks. And we're going to talk about my predictions for Toyota trucks in 2026. What is going to happen? I've been kind of doing these for all brands. So what do we think is going to happen? Well, first of all, just know that we do have some new issues with these. You know, you learn if you watch the car guy online. Just got done talking about him, car guy online, and I mentioned him in another video. But he has brought some new things to our attention with these. He is your go-to source for anything truck-related issues, updates. Recall, you name it, anything that ever happens with any truck brand out there, he is a guy to talk to. Watch his videos, you will see. And on this truck, the Tundra, we are now seeing that the replacement engines are starting to go down. Not a ton of them yet, but they're getting, you know, if they had to replace this engine, they get it, and then the new replacements are going down too. It makes it a little scary. But the main thing I want to talk about on here is these up here. See that? They got a sunroof on them. And something that he just, in his video he put out today, he had mentioned in there, and the only reason I bring it up is because, now normally I would just say go watch his video so you can learn about it, because it is his video and I want you to do that. But there is a danger factor to these sunroofs on these Tundras. There's a dangerous thing as far as, for some reason, they're just exploding. Okay, the sunroofs are just going down and they're exploding. That's a problem. That is a problem if you are in the car, or especially if you have kids in the car and these things blow out on you and it throws all that shrapnel of glass all over. You have to be careful with that till they get this sorted. And on top of that, in typical Toyota fashion, which this comment will get many comments in the comments by people that, you know, that think I'm full of BS. But with that sunroof thing, Toyota's not covering it. They're calling it an outside source of a problem. They're not covering them. $2,600, $2,800, $1,600 is what these repairs are charging, according again to what we're seeing in the actual forum and the posts that the car guy online was sharing on his videos. The Toyota's not taking care of it, just like they don't take care of a lot of things. Toyota is the worst when it comes to taking care of people under warranty. Now, you will also, every time I say that, you'll see somebody jump in and go, well, they're replacing all the engines with a new crate engine. You know what? So is every other company. Okay, Toyota is technically, I've been at this now for almost 3 years, 2.5 years of every single day putting out 2 or 3 videos every day in the auto industry. And the one thing that I have found over and over and over and over again in the last 3 years is that Toyota is the worst when it comes to taking care of their customers. Whether you like that answer or not, I don't care. It just is what it is. You can argue it till you're blue in the face, but it is what it is. And the sunroof thing is one of those situations right now as well too, so be careful with that. And it's only on the Tundras, not the Tacomas. Something about them, something compressing them, something the way the body flexes. Don't know what it is. It's all 2026s, but 2026s, like we're seeing right here, 2026 sunroofs, there's a few of them starting to blow. And they're blowing big, and they're causing problems for a few people. But it is something to consider. Now, would I normally even mention it because it's only been, there's what, 5 or 10 of them out there? Would I complain about that? No, it'd be no big deal. However, it is my obligation to tell you, because again, if I didn't, and you're driving down the road with your family in the car and all of a sudden your windshield or your sunroof implodes and blows glass all over your wife and your kids and you, that doesn't sit well with me, so I'm bringing it to your attention. Could it be a fluke? Could it be something little? I don't know. I don't care. It's Toyota's problem, but I don't want it to be your problem. So until you maybe get that sorted or know what's going on for sure, keep the visor closed so that if your windshield or your sunroof does blow out, it's not going to blow out and hit you guys. Maybe that's a cure. I don't know. I'm just telling you what this new thing that we're seeing happening is. Use that for whatever your advantage is on there. Sorry, not to get off on too much tangents, but let's talk about predictions for Toyota for 2026. My predictions is nothing changes. Nothing at all. we got the new 4Runner, we have the Land Cruiser that came out, we got the Tundra barely hanging on with the crap they got going on, and we got the Tacoma proving itself more and more every single day. This Tacoma just keeps shining and shining and doing better and doing better, and the 2026s are available for order. There's none on the lots yet, but they are starting to get going. They're really no different, but we see very high success out of this truck. It is doing fantastic. Okay, there's not much to complain about on this truck, and it's proving itself very well. Actually, I would go as far as to say, for a first year launch, which this was in 2024, but for a first year launch, this truck has been pretty dang successful. It is a drama-free, get-her-done kind of truck. Yeah, the price is high, but all Toyota is high. Okay, but it is what it is, and it is not as good as the old one. We know that. We understand that. But it is a phenomenal truck. So I think Toyota is going to carry this Tacoma and just float by on that just fine, and that is going to be the bulk. This truck is what carries Toyota trucks. It is this truck alone, and it has been for a long time. The Tundra sells, it's a drop in a bucket of sales compared to the Tacoma here in the US. The Tacoma is everything. That is Toyota's lifeline as far as the truck market goes, and for good reason. Okay, just like that RAV4 sitting right there. RAV4 and the Camry are their biggest sellers in these other worlds. They are their bread and butter. We understand that. The Tundra is a fiasco still. It has been since 2022, and it's going to stay that way. And honestly, I think that, my opinion, 2026, Toyota will just try and coast through it again. And I think that more than likely, I mean, it came out in 2022. We're already 4 years into this with the 2026s here. I think their attitude is going to be, and it's my personal opinion, I don't know inside, I don't have anything else, but my attitude is they're just going to try and coast through 2026, and whatever their big plans were for the next generation Tundra or the next generation engine it was going to be in the Tundra, they're going to probably try and move that ahead of schedule as quick as they can to get past all the crap that's going on with the Tundra. That is my guess. That is my assumption. Remember, they don't sell a lot of Tundras. Okay, I don't remember what the number is, and I'm not going to say it because if I'm off by like one number, there'll be like 50 guys in the comments. Remember, they're right here. They're sharks. They circle. You can see their fins all around my feet, and they just sit there waiting for me to say, well, they sold 206,000 Tundras. They did not sell 206,000. They sold 205,944. Get it right. Get your number right. Okay, they circle below me waiting to attack. So I don't know what the actual number is, but it's not enough of them to matter. It really isn't enough of them to matter. So in my opinion, they're going to just float through 2026 and ride it out, and then they're going to turn around and try and get whatever the next phase of this is out as quick as they possibly can to try to mitigate and bypass this thing, because again, there are some of them that are phenomenal and they run like a top and nobody has any issues. And I'm not just talking engines. Okay, it seems to be luck of the draw as to what's happening. And then you have others that they're lemons and they're pure garbage and they have all sorts of problems. And then you have some that just have one problem after another, but they're not engine related. And then you have some where everything's great, but the engine goes down. And you have but the Tundra, it is hit or miss. Either yours is fantastic or yours is a piece of crap. That's basically what it boils down to. And I think Toyota is just done with dealing with this Tundra. Okay, they didn't ask for it, they didn't expect it, they couldn't foresee it. It is what it is now, and they just cannot get out from under it. And so their attitude is, and my thoughts, my opinion, will be skate through with what we got on 2026. Notice there's only 3 on a lot. There's 3 Tundras on this whole lot. There's only 3. I don't think that's by accident. I think there's a little bit of limitation going on here because they're just going to try and float through and maybe have either things corrected, fixed, updated, redesigned, or whatever the case is, or even a whole new model coming pretty soon, or some major change that is going to get them out of the Tundra fiasco. Now, as far as their 4Runners and their Land Cruisers, Sequoias, they've all proven very, very well. They're doing fantastic. Okay, these trucks are doing phenomenal. Look at this beautiful SR5. Predictions that I wish would happen for them. I do wish very much so, wholeheartedly, I wish that Toyota would dump its distributors or reel its distributors in. I do not like Southeast Toyota distributors. You guys have told me that it's not all places that have them. There are some regions that do, some regions that don't. But the Southeast Toyota distributors that we deal with down here, they rip us off like crazy. They rip the dealers off like crazy. They rip off everybody like crazy. And if you're in this area, you have to buy, as a dealer, you have to get your vehicles from Toyota Southeast Distributors. Okay, that is the middleman. And they rob us. They rob everybody. I'm not a fan of that whatsoever. So that I'd like to see different. But I think Toyota 2026 will be quiet, I guess is the best way to put it. There will not be a lot happening. They will keep the Tacoma as is. It'll flow through and it'll carry all of Toyota's trucks doing its thing. The Tundra, they will just try to keep their mouth shut, tuck their head down, not look at you when you walk by, and deal with whatever they got to deal with to get them through, and just try and suck it up and keep right on rolling. And again, I don't mean that as a hit to you if you have a Tundra. I don't mean that at all. And I don't even think the sales of the Tundra will drop that bad, because of the fact that there's so much blind loyalty to Toyota. So much blind loyalty. You know, they had a 2020, or they had a 2018 Tundra and it treated them perfect, so they're just gonna buy a 2026 Tundra and they expect the same thing. They don't know any better. They don't watch YouTube. They don't pay attention to stuff. Maybe they get a great one and it has no problems for them and it's perfect. Or maybe they have, you know, an engine that goes down, or maybe their sunroof blows out on them and throws glass all over the truck, and then Toyota tells them that's not our problem, and then maybe they never buy Toyota again. Who knows? But my assumption, Toyota skates by for 2026 with nothing big happening. That's my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts. Thanks for watching.